Hi, my name is Walid, and today I will be talking about my culture, which is Egypt. First of all, there's a few points that I would like to make clear. In Egypt, we do not ride camels to go from one place to another. No, we have a car, just like every other country. There's no sand everywhere. No, it's just like a whole ass city. It's huge, and there are different parts of Egypt, old cities. There are still like some desert in there, but it's not as big as you would think. Okay, that's first of all. Two, the pyramids of Giza. I lived in Cairo like for a long time, and I used to see them every single day. They were not built by aliens. No, they were just built by humans, just like you and me. But back in the days, it was a river right underneath them or right next to them, so that was easier for the pharaohs or for like the workers to move these big stones from one place to another, from point A to point B. So there's no big conspiracy. The aliens did not build Egypt or anything like that. To be honest, I wish maybe it would have been like, a better country than it is right now. But yeah, it was just built by the pharaohs back then, and that's pretty much it. Cool. So now we're gonna talk about me. I am Egyptian, Christian Egyptian, which is if you live in Egypt or in the Middle East generally, you would know it's kind of a hard thing. But luckily and thankfully, I was blessed enough. I've had some wonderful friends over there. People were nice to me, and so it was not a big deal for me. But yeah, that is my background. There isn't much to say about Egypt except that it's a very, very beautiful country. There are a lot of cultures in Egypt. If you ever were to visit, you will find a lot of things, a lot of like beautiful things to see because, as you know, like it was invaded by the Romans, the Macedonians, the pharaohs. It also has Islamic culture, it also has Coptic culture. It's full of culture. And you will see like buildings and whole cities, just like, for example, Alexandria. Alexander the Great built it, just for himself to in Egypt. So it's full of culture, it's full of different stuff, or it's full of different places you could visit every day to have fun and enjoy. Yeah, so the Egyptian or the Pharaonic culture is one of the oldest and the most intriguing cultures in the world because they had so many secrets, so many sciences that no one knew about back then. They also documented everything that used to happen in the country on something called Barley paper. So in the future, people would know what happened in the country and how did they manage to solve that issue. It was one of the most beautiful things you could ever see. If you ever go to Egypt, you will see big monuments, like you will see animals animal shaped language that is called hieroglyphic. That's how they wrote and documented everything down. It's very beautiful, it's very fascinating, and it also teaches you about that time, that part of time, the history. One thing also about them that they also believed in gods, like the god of the sun, the god of the sea, the god of the water. It was always in their beliefs that there's a god and he does everything that's happening around them. So they were forced to kind of worship them, and the pharaoh was like the god is descended, like his son, his daughter, or anything like that. That's why they looked at the pharaoh as also a god or a descendant from the gods. And they believed that after someone dies, they will be reincarnated again. That's why they used to bury the pharaohs, sometimes even with the servants. They took everything with them. They used to even sometimes bury their servants alive with them, so that when they come back from the afterlife, or in the afterlife, their servants can also serve them in the afterlife. And when they get back again to earth, they would also be there to serve their pharaoh. And for them, it wasn't even a bad thing because it was like an honor to serve a god and go to the afterlife with him and then come back again to the real world. And that's pretty much it. That's all I can think of regarding Egypt and its culture.